Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm talking about the 2020 election because the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are really starting to turn it up to 11, and they're getting concerned, and they're starting to push that out to the states, and here's what's going on. Now, these notes are coming from CNN, Cyberscoop, and some other places, and I thought this is absolutely interesting, and it's something I think we all need to be aware of, even if you're not in the United States, because most countries have elections. So heads up, we can use this as possibly a lab for what to do and what not to do once we are through the 2020 election and we have the ability to review. But right now, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have issued an advisory to state election officials that the Russian government could use voter suppression tactics to interfere with the 2020 U.S. election. Now, if you are not in the United States, 2020 is going to be when we elect our next president, so it is considered a major election. We have that every 4 years. Now, as I mentioned, this was first reported by CNN. Now, this memo, which is titled, "Russia May Try to Discourage Voter Turnout and Suppressing Votes in 2020 Election," this document was marked for official use only and sent to basically the secretaries of state for all 50 of the states. Now, what they're saying is the Russian government could try and keep Americans away from the polls in 2020 by, for example, trying to breach voter registration databases or fanning political tensions online. Now, a senior President Trump administration official told Cyberscoop this, and I quote, "We want to make sure we're pushing out as much information as possible to the front lines. We also need to keep in mind this isn't about targeting election equipment. This is a much broader effort by Russia and others to influence our democratic processes to their advantage. The good news is that I've never seen collaboration like this across all levels of government and industry." Now, that statement actually flies in the face of what we've seen a lot come out of the Trump administration in the 2016 election when Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. And there has been a lot of denials in terms of Russian collusion, Russian hoaxes, Russian influence, and all of that, even though all the evidence points to an information warfare campaign in 2016. Now, the National Association of Secretaries of State, their president, Paul Pate, or Pate, I'm assuming it's Pate, said, and I quote, "We saw similar tactics in 2016, so it's not a surprise they may try it again. Russians didn't hack a single vote in 2016, but they did try to create doubt in the system and drive wedges between American voters. We're encouraging voters to rely on official sources for election information. That is your local and state election officials." Now, 2018 wasn't an exception either. About 2 weeks ago, the U.S. Treasury Department actually announced sanctions against a Russian financier and 6 Russian operatives allegedly behind the IRA, or Internet Research Agency, that was trying to interfere in both the 2016 and 2018 elections. And if you're not familiar with the Internet Research Agency, I know I've talked about this in videos and on my radio show and all of that as well. Basically, this was basically a troll farm that was used to drive a wedge into American voters using advertising campaigns that they spent, I want to say it was about $150,000 to influence millions of voters across key states where basically it was a battleground between President Trump and Hillary Clinton, who was also vying for the presidency on the Democrat/liberal side. So we are going to see this continue to ramp up. And while we are looking at voting and election machine hacking, which is something that we have seen demonstrations at conferences like DEF CON and other places, this information warfare campaign will continue to ramp up. And now that we are adding things like deepfake technology, deepfake audio and videos, and I literally did a video on that myself, where a lot of experts are saying within 6 months, they're going to be so good that most people are not going to be able to discern real from fake unless you are really doing your research on this. And we know that much of the electorate pretty much reads the headline of the newspaper or, reads the clip or sees the video, takes it for gospel, and it's very hard to dispel that. This is the counter to information warfare that we have a serious time combating. So we're going to see what the 2020 election is. But it's rather what happens there, rather. But it's rather obvious that the law enforcement officials within the United States are taking this one very seriously, and hopefully, by virtue of that, we will have a secure election free from influence. But again, time will tell. So take that for what it's worth, and I think everybody should take notice of this, because even if you're not in America, your country may be subject to this. And I actually wrote an article for this about regarding Forbes about how the Russians have influenced elections in multiple countries over the years. And so this, I think, affects everybody, even though it's specifically targeting America at this moment. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And thanks for following me on YouTube. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.